Well, hello everyone, and welcome to The Basics of Life. My name's Ken Burkey, and I think you've been on this show a long time ago.
A couple times.
Like in the 70s. He had a big afro and bell bottoms.
That's right.
Mike Manthe is in the house, and thank you, Mike, for being here.
You're welcome.
I'm excited about this show, so I'll just jump into it. Mike and his wife, Mavis, are the directors over Green Valley Celebrate Recovery, which has been around now for 10 years.
10 years in May.
Grief.
Yeah.
10 years.
Crazy.
Yeah. Started very, very small and has now grown and is just doing some amazing things for our community. And so thank you.
You're welcome.
So I think a couple things, just I want to let people know what Celebrate Recovery is and what it isn't. But kind of talk about, first of all, your journey into Celebrate, because you're a volunteer. You're a volunteer. You have teams. I mean, it's an amazing thing you do. Why are you so passionate about this?
You know, probably I think it's 22 years ago, our son at 18 was addicted to cocaine. And from that, through family therapy and group therapy, they recommended that we seek out some help. And so we heard of this program, just started. It was called Celebrate Recovery at Saddleback Church in Southern California. So we went. I went just to support my wife, because when our son came to us, it just about crushed her. So I went to support her, and little did I know it ended up being for me. Wow. So I was raised by, my mother was addicted to pain medication my whole life. And, you know, I thought that was normal. I didn't know any different. That's the way we grew up. I have a brother that's a drug addict, been in prison most of his life. And so you learn a lot. You know, Celebrate Recovery is a 12-step program. It's a Christ-centered 12-step program that is based out of the Beatitudes, out of the Bible. And it's a program that works. It's, you know, there's over 10,000 Celebrate Recoveries in this country now, and it just grows and grows and grows because it's a program that when you use God as your higher power, it just works. So from that, my wife and I went to Saddleback for quite a few years, and we're involved there. We started a parents group. And it's one of the misconceptions about Celebrate Recovery. A lot of people think it's just drugs and alcohol. Well, it isn't. It's for everybody. Right. You know, we have groups for codependency and family members, family issues. You know, we have a lot of different groups for a lot of different hurts, habits, and hang-ups. And that's our thing is, if you suffer from a hurt, habit, or hang-up, then you should be there.
Well, then don't we all?
Absolutely.
And that's the kind of the ongoing statement we say is we're all in recovery. Yeah. There's those certain stigmas that, well, recovery is for alcohol or drugs, but it's for all of us because we're all recovering from something.
We are.
Yeah. So you guys moved up north here.
We moved up north about 12 years ago. We looked for a church that had a Celebrate Recovery and really couldn't find one. There was a couple around that were struggling, and then somebody suggested Green Valley Church. And we were living in Folsom at the time. And we just moved up to Shingle Springs. So we came and visited and just fell in love with the church. And there was another couple that wanted to start Celebrate Recovery. My wife Mavis was at a women's retreat with one of them, and they were talking. And my wife's got a true passion for this. I mean, that's, you know, that's I think what God put her on this earth is to help people in recovery. And so they were talking. And we got together with the church and started talking about, hey, could we start this program? And it was accepted freely. And the other couple dropped out, and so Mavis and I started it. And that was 10 years ago in May. Wow. And you know, the first couple of years were pretty tough. It's not a program that everybody runs and says, hey, we can go to Celebrate Recovery. Right. But you know, once people figure out that it's such a loving and safe place to be, they flock to it, and that's what's happened. It's grown. We have a lot of different groups now for different struggles, and so it's for everybody.
Yeah, I think that one of the most powerful things about Celebrate it is I think that it's hard to start because the dynamics. You know, you have to have enough people coming for it to feel safe. Right. Because it's a very safe place. I mean, it's the confidentiality, you know, and no judging. It's just come. But boy, what a change over the last 10 years. Mm-hmm. And just you can't make up these stories.
Seen a lot of miracles.
Yeah. I know you can't mention names, but just mention a few kind of miracles that?
One of the gals, 22-year meth user, and she's been clean now, I think, for 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's unusual. 22 years meth user,
Right.
You should be dead.
Right.
But she's been on fire, doing really, really well. We've seen marriages saved, tons of marriages saved and put back together. You know, people that struggle with, there's a lot of problems out there that people don't want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, rape, physical abuse. Women just don't want to talk about that.
Right.
And we've seen people just completely healed from that. And, you know, get those visions out of your head and live the life that God wants you to live.
Yeah.
So there's once a month we do chip night, and then we do testimony nights.
Yeah.
So we get to hear testimonies twice a month.
Yeah.
And what God does is amazing.
Yeah, and if anybody can attend. It's on Thursday nights at 7 o'clock,
Yep.
and I would encourage you to come. And it's phenomenal. They have great music, and it's just a safe place. And I know it's safe because of how many people are just willing to share what their struggle is, because they have no fear of being judged. And it shouldn't blow me away, but it does, because I think in the church world, there's a tendency for people to go to church and we all put our masks on and I got it together and I'm not going to be vulnerable. And then you come here and nobody's forcing anybody to.
No.
But yet once people realize this truly is a safe place for me to share what I really struggle with. And it's not a downer. That's the other thing.
No,
There's
we
a
celebrate
joy.
it.
There's a celebration of, there's a freedom to that because nobody's stuffing it in anymore.
Yep.
It's
very freeing to get rid of that worldly stuff that you've buried for years and years.
So obviously God is the answer, but what is the key to Celebrate's formula, or what is, because
you know, it's the safety is number one, I think. Safety and the non-judging. You hit it on the head. People come in and they just feel loved, and a lot of these people haven't felt loved for a long time, if ever. Yeah. And nobody judges. We've had, people come in and say, well, you don't know what I've done. You're not going to like me. Yes, we do. Mm-hmm. Anybody can change. So that's a
key line right there, because I don't know if our culture believes that anybody can change.
Yeah, we believe that. I've talked to police officers that have arrested people time after time after time, and I've had them tell me people don't change. And I say, you got to come in and see, because we've had people do horrific things, and now it's unbelievable that the people that they've turned out to be. So, yeah, people can change.
Yeah, and I think the other part of the formula that works is we were talking about it before we started the show, was when you hear other people having the same struggles, that you don't feel alone.
Right.
So the small group time where people can feel like it, because there is something very cathartic about going, oh, okay, I'm not the only one here.
Absolutely.
Because we tend to say, well, this is me, nobody else struggles with these things, and there's something powerful about that. Yeah.
You become a really close-knit family.
Yeah.
Because you're sharing things that nobody else has heard, and that's very healing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So talk about, I want to, Celebrate is for everyone, but you have a lot of different small groups. Kind of give details of each one, because I think it's surprising actually to a lot of people that that's part of Celebrate.
Yeah. Women, we have 4 different small groups. We have chemically dependent, of course, and that's drugs and alcohol. Mm-hmm. Then we have codependency and family issues, and
Can you talk a little bit about that and why that's so destructive? Because the codependency, what is that?
Codependency is simply putting everybody's feelings in front of your own.
Okay.
And family issues, people that struggle, for example, when our son came to us, and my mother and my brother, you become codependent because you have to survive. And to break out of that is very, very freeing. And to look at yourself and live for yourself is very freeing. So those groups and family issues are for people who struggle with anything family related. Yeah. And whether it's a son or a daughter that's addicted, or whatever. That's what that group is for, and that's a pretty large group because there's a lot of people that have family members that struggle, and that affects your life. So you come and work on that, and again, it's very, very freeing.
Yeah.
So then we have a group for women called COSA. It's codependent women in relationship with sexually addicted men. Sex addiction is so big because of the internet, and men, not just men and women, both struggling with that. And so this is for women who are in relationship with a sexually addicted man. Then we have survivors of abuse, and it's either emotional, physical, or verbal abuse. And then
that's far more rampant again than our culture or people want to admit.
Yeah.
And you have to have a safe place for
Absolutely.
people to even say they're dealing with those things. Yeah.
And from those, in that group, we have a group for PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and gals that suffer from depression and anxiety. And those all go together. There's so many women that have been abused, again, either emotionally, physically, or verbally, that it creates that. It creates that depression and anxiety. So we have a group for that. Men, we have chemically dependent, same thing. Then we have codependent and family issues. We have a group for anger, which a lot of us suffer from that. And our newest group is PTSD, anxiety and depression. We group that into one. And then we have a group called CSI, which is Christian Sexual Integrity. And that's for men who struggle with sexual addiction.
Right. And so all of these groups, when you come together, everybody's together. There's music, there's a teaching, there's the reading of the 12 steps, testimonies. But then when you break up into small groups, it's just men and women.
Right. It's all gender specific.
Right.
Men won't share in front of women.
No.
Women won't share in front of men.
No.
So it's all gender specific.
Right. What are so that's like 10 groups you have right now.
We have 9.
9.
Yeah.
And you have some more groups that are on the way.
We have a couple more that we want to start. We want to really start one for gambling. That's a big one.
Yeah.
And then whatever else comes up, we're always getting people say, hey, I wish we had a group for this or a group for that. That's how the COSA group started. Some women that are in relationship with sexually addicted men came to us and said, we really need somebody where there's a place we can go and share what we're going through.
Yeah.
And again, you get very close that way.
Yeah. So just to kind of going back to this, talk about your teams, because this is an amazing work. I mean, again, it's a large group of people coming together, but it's all volunteer driven. And I think it's just the passion of your leaders and your volunteers are huge.
Yeah. All of our volunteers, we have a team, TEAM. We have trainers, we have simulation coaches, we have ministry leaders. And from the team, then we have leaders below them, leaders that lead the small groups. Our leaders have to meet certain criteria. They have to have been, whatever their hurt, habit, or hang-up is, clean for a year, and had worked through the 12 steps. So all of our leaders have been there and done that, and so they get it, they understand it, and it's a great group of people. Yeah. They all have a passion for it. They all want to help. Part of the 12 steps, the 12th step is now that you see the miracle, then you got to give it back. Yeah. And that's part of it, and that's what we teach, and that's what everybody likes to do is give back. And it's a feeling that a lot of them have never had. Yeah. So.
Well, that's the 12. I mean, that's the 12th step, right? The 12 steps. Do you know it by heart or
no?
No, but it's about giving back.
Right.
Now that you've gone through this, and what's amazing about Celebrate is they are one of the most generous giving ministries that we have. You guys are always serving at water baptism. You guys are barbecuing and serving at Common Ground, and there is healing in that part of it too.
Yeah, there's nothing better than serving.
Yeah,
everybody just gets clicked in. Yeah, it's awesome.
So just wrapping this up, what somebody sitting out there that knows they need help. I mean, we all have hurts, habits, and hang-ups, but there comes that point where we go, this is affecting my marriage, this is affecting my job, this is affecting my emotional health, all of that. What would you say to someone like that?
Show up on Thursday night. Yeah, room 307, Green Valley Church. Show up. We start music at 7 o'clock. We have a large group that goes from 7 to 8, and again, we either have a lesson, a testimony, or You spoke there last night.
Yeah.
And then at 8 o'clock, we break up into our small groups, our open share groups. We have a special group for newcomers that will teach you, what Celebrate's all about. And again, just come in knowing it's a very safe and non-judgmental place, and that's our big thing is a safe place.
Yeah, and Mike's saying that, and I'm saying that too, because I've been there a lot, and I get to teach there. I get to see Chip Night, and that's probably one of the best nights where people are getting there 1 month. What are the chips?
Yeah, chips are what we celebrate.
It's not chips and dip.
No,
which is not bad either. But
yeah, we celebrate 30 days, and again, whatever your thing is, we celebrate 30 days clean, or 30 days away from whatever your problem is. 60 days, 90 days, 6 months, a year, on up. We have people getting 22, 25-year chips, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And those people are really helping other people get through what they need to get through.
Well, I got to tell you one more thing too, and I wasn't there, but a friend of mine was there. I don't want to. Everything's confidential, so I'm not mentioning names. I won't even get too specific. But I've actually seen this a couple times too, where you talk about Celebrate being a safe place, where somebody who had maybe a 10-year chip or a 5-year chip goes up and has to get a 30-day chip. Yeah. Because they've fallen, so to speak.
Sure, sure.
And instead of that being a failure, it's there's this cheering on of, okay, here we are for the next part of the journey, no judging.
Right.
Because I think if somebody has done well for a long time and then falls and feels like they're going to get judged, that will take them down some dark paths.
Yep.
So that's a powerful thing too.
Yeah.
That's a really powerful
well, we're all human, and we all
Right.
fail.
Right.
And so why judge somebody? Why not celebrate it? And it's all about honesty. At least they're honest enough to come back and say, look, guys.
Yeah.
And that's the relationships that you build there.
Yeah.
You build good enough relationships, you can come back and say, I messed up.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, let's do it again.
And so anyway, thank you, Mike.
Sure.
Thanks for, I'll just say it, it'll be hard to drive on our campus on a Thursday night and just do it, because you will not regret it.
Yeah.
And it is the most accepting, loving place. And I know it because I'm there. I'll come in sometimes and there'll be people who don't know that I'm, pastor. And they're nice to me. So they're not just nice to me because they have to be.
No.
They're actually nice. So.
The other program we have that I forgot to mention is
good.
the Landing, and it's Celebrate Recovery for Teens, junior high and high schoolers. Mm-hmm. And it meets Sunday evenings at 6 o'clock, same room, 307. Yeah. And it is an amazing program led by leaders that have been there and done that. Yeah. And they have a passion for these kids. They want to put them on a path that's going to give them tools later on in life to make a difference. Yeah. And they are. I've seen testimonies come out of that with young people that I wish all of us would have had those tools when we were young. So that's Sunday. If you know of a kid that suffers from a hurt habit or hang up, get them there, and it's a great, great program.
It is, with great leaders.
Great leaders. Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
Sure.
Appreciate
You're welcome.
So 7 o'clock, Celebrate for adults on Thursday nights, and 6 o'clock Sundays for the Landing, which is for our teenagers. And again, any more information you need about this, just call Green Valley and we can guide you in the right direction. So thanks.
Yep. You're welcome.
All right. We'll see you next time.
What if you believe that you can change the